always have to thank our annual sponsors. So these are the sponsors that pay for all year for all of us to be here and subsidize. Your membership helps, but that just subsidizes it, and these big sponsors pick up a lot of the tab. So we really do appreciate what they do for us. And then particularly, we have a sponsor for each meeting. Tonight is Verima, and they're tonight's meeting sponsor for April. So thank you very much, Verima. How about a clap for Verima? Real dollars and real money that these folks put out, so we do appreciate it. Moving right along to the Startup Corner. So as you know, every month we try to give focus to a startup here in Atlanta, and that's one of the big premises of the Wireless Technology Forum. We do have a lot of great big household names in Atlanta, but we do try to promote startups and building Atlanta as a wireless community. So to that end, we have a pitch every month where we have one of the hottest mobile companies in Atlanta come and give a pitch. A couple things of criteria in case you know somebody that might want to come and have their 2 minutes of fame here at the Wireless Technology Forum. They've got to be a member. They've got to be pre-venture funding. That's where you go to register. You can see the URL. And then we have some sponsors, Atlanta Technology Angels and 151 Locus, who help us do some screening and bring us candidates to go ahead. And after you register, they'll evaluate the candidates, and we let them tell us who they think good candidates are. So, got a pretty good one for you tonight, and we're going to jump right into that. So tonight, remember I said cycle. So tonight we have VIA Cycle, and with that we have Kyle, who's going to come on up. Go ahead, Kyle. He's the CEO and co-founder, and I've seen the pitch, I've seen the slides, and I think it's pretty interesting. I'm a biker myself, all right. A road biker, so I would love to come down whenever you get this, and I want to be your first customer and take one of these bikes out. So
well, you can take a ride now.
I can take a ride now. See, I did that part I didn't know. I'm looking forward to work in downtown right now.
On Tech's campus.
On Tech's campus. I'm going to try that out.
So, you guys.
If you'd like to use the arrow key or the clicker, okay, that'd be great. Try to stay close to the mic here first, and they're going to get you on camera. And you've got, as we talked about, 2 minutes.
All right.
I'll give you the signal.
All right. Hi, everybody. My name is Kyle Azevedo, and I'm the CEO and co-founder of VIA Cycle. VIA Cycle makes it easier for you to get around your campus or neighborhood. We set up bikes in cities and universities so that you can rent one instantly using nothing more than your cell phone. In a nutshell, we're Zipcar, but with bicycles. Now, a lot of people ask us, why bikes? But the fact is that bike sharing offers more impact per dollar of investment than any other form of transportation. Our team's been working on bike sharing for the past 3 years, and along the way, we've developed a unique business model from scratch, earned over $87,000 in research, in funding and grants, and more recently, we won the MIT Clean Energy Prize in Transportation and Startup Riot 2012 right here in Atlanta. So in short, we know how to make bike sharing effective, and we know that it can work. The problem with existing bike sharing systems is that they're designed and built as large infrastructure projects. So they take an incredible amount of money to get up and running, and they're hard to keep running. Now, we decided to solve this problem by redesigning bike sharing from the ground up to make it inexpensive, scalable, and adaptable. What we did was we put an electronic lock on each bike and gave it GPS and data communications. And we also built a platform to manage these bicycles. The end result is about 75% less expensive than our competition, but it works almost exactly the same way, and it requires no infrastructure whatsoever. Behind the scenes, VIA Cycle offers a complete system for managing this hardware from the cloud. We collect data from these bikes at all times, so we know who's using them, where they are, and whether they need attention. As an end result, our customers can configure and run these programs from anywhere and change things on the fly, which ends up saving them money. Better yet, this technology already exists. So these pictures that you're looking at are from our Georgia Tech program. We have 40 bikes up and running on the main campus. We have over 500 registered users in 4 months of operation, and the program's doing incredibly well. We're also looking for wireless partners to help us build our technology as we move to more and more customized devices. So if any of you are interested in talking and learning more, I would love to speak with you afterwards. Thank you very much.
Nice. And now moving on to tonight's topic. Maury is going to be our moderator, and I'm pretty interested in this topic because, Angry Birds and Instagram get all the excitement and money, but where actually the real work happens is enterprise apps, right? It's not as glorious and sexy, but that's where the real work gets done. That's where the money is for the enterprises. I think that's what Maury's going to take us through tonight, of how that works, and we've got some great panels that he'll introduce you to those folks. So most of you know Maury. He's a past president and also one of the co-founder of the Atlanta BlackBerry Group, and the past president, also one of the co-founders of this very group. So he's no stranger. You've seen him up here many times. So Maury, why don't you come on up, introduce your panel, and take us through.
Thank you, Merrill.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, Merrill. Appreciate that. So with that, I'd like to introduce our panel. So on my right and your left is, from left to right, is Hayden Eastman. He's a senior technical architect and Southeast software specialist for Motorola Solutions. And recently in 2011, Motorola acquired Row Mobile. It's a MEEP, and that's what we're here to talk about tonight. One of the things is what is a MEEP. He's an electronics and software engineer for over 20 years. Hayden's a holder of a number of patents in mobility electronics. He's also Motorola Solutions Southeast specialist for the Row Mobile suite of development tools. At the other end, on the other side, is George Machini. George is the president and CEO of Catavolt. You might recognize George because several months ago he was right here as our startup corner, and we asked him to come on the panel tonight. George is leading the way for the creation of a new category of enterprise mobility solutions, and I won't steal his thunder for that, but Catavolt thought they were a MEEP, and then Gartner told them they're not a MEEP. So George is going to fill you in on that. Prior to Catavolt, George was part of a core management team at Paragon Systems International, an Atlanta-based spinoff from IBM that was purchased by Infor in 2005. And then lastly, in the middle, we have Lee Wagner, who I've known Lee for a long time, since his days at Encode. And Lee leads the mobility, software, services, solutions, I knew I could get through that, and design group. He's probably got the biggest business card in the room, but for mobility for AT&T Mobility. He has over 17 years in the mobility solutions space. His experiences are not limited to, but such things as enterprise mobile applications, MEEP platform, business to consumer, mobile web applications, machine to machine, mobile security, and various location-based applications. Prior to joining AT&T through acquisition of his company, I really feel bad up here that I haven't been acquired by anybody. But Mr. Wagner was the president and CEO of Encode Wireless, a leading privately owned wireless business and technology systems integration and consulting firm. So welcome our panel tonight. I'm going to start off and ask Hayden. Hayden, can you tell us what a MEEP is for those people in the room that don't know what the alphabet soup is, so we can get this discussion started?
Sure thing. Okay? So as Maury says, I work with Motorola, and Motorola, you guys may know, is in the business of rugged handheld computers. Some of the other products that we work with are the two-way radios. So just about all the police and firemen that you see out there carry Motorola radios. That's another area of our business. But another area of our business that a lot of folks aren't aware of is the cellular infrastructure. Right? Most of the cell towers and the communications equipment on those cell towers is Motorola equipment as well. But beyond that, I'll talk about handheld computers for a second. That's kind of been our business. We've been focused on rugged mobile computers in the enterprise for umpteen years, from like Maury says, when we were back in the days of Symbol. And so that's kind of where we spend a lot of our time, all right, is understanding what goes on in the enterprise. Along that line, just lately, you've seen a lot of talk recently about what we'll call rich internet applications. And what they are applications that run on devices that communicate with some back-end cloud-based system. It basically takes the data off of that cloud-based system, displays it in some cool, rich UI on the device. And when you talk about MEEPs, that's what we're talking about, is the platform that's used to develop those rich internet applications. A MEEP at its highest level consists of probably three different things, I would say. And probably you ask all three of us here and we give you a different answer on it. But when I think of MEEP, I think of the ability to do cross-platform. So write your application one time, but target multiple devices. The second one is data synchronization, being able to have that application run in an offline fashion. If the internet's not there, the application's still going to function to some extent, right? So those you have those two things as being very important in when you describe what a MEEP is. But at its highest level, it's a mobile enterprise application platform, and it's really meant, it's a new paradigm in software development, is probably the best way I can put it.
Thank you for that, Hayden. And the company I work for, Pyramid Consulting, we are doing work with RoMobile, and for example, we develop native code with it, and then we put it back through the system, and it comes out with another operating system native code. So I'm oversimplifying a little bit, but that's one of the real advantages of a MEEP. So George Catavolt, you're not a MEEP, so what are you and what do you do, and how, tell us.
Thanks, Maury. So a MEEP is something that helps you build applications, and we're going to need to build a lot of applications over the years. So they're great because you don't want to build them by hand. We do something a little bit different. When you go to the office and you use your systems, there's inventory, there's sales orders, there's all this great data that's out there that you'd love to get to from your mobile devices. But it's all over the place. It's in a traditional data center. What we did that was different than a MEEP was give you a cloud service that connects to your existing enterprise systems and makes them available from your mobile devices, all of them. And what's interesting about the market is we need everything because there's so much use for mobile. So as we go through some of the mobile scenarios, you'll see that sometimes you have to build applications. Other times you use something right off the shelf and you just download it. And then in certain other situations, there's a middle ground there.
Great. So Lee, before I jump in and ask you a question, I just want to test the audience here for a second. Who thinks that Apple has, as of February 2012, Apple has the largest percentage share of the smartphone space in the United States? As an OS, yes, as an OS. Number of units sold in the marketplace. Okay, what about Android? Wow, we have a really smart audience here. So Android has got about a 57% market share, according to ComScore, and Apple has about a 35% share. BlackBerry has dropped down to about a 7% share, and Microsoft is somewhere between 5 and 7%. So with that, Lee, I'd like to ask you, what are you seeing out in the marketplace in your travels? You know, what are some of the challenges that companies are facing with mobile application development, and what kind of tools, you know, MEEPs, whatever, are you seeing to combat this challenge?
Wasn't that Hayden's question? Just, no, sorry. No, so we're out in the marketplace and we see big and small enterprises. I think there are kind of three common themes. The first is no one can compete with the rate of change, right? The rate of change is greater than the capacity to deal with that rate of change. So you have to have something to be able to do it. And I think the second thing that's really important is you're seeing the need for different types of applications in the environment. It used to be fairly consistent where it was line of business, business to employee. Now you've got horizontal applications, you got consumer applications. Sometimes a consumer application is a BDE application. Sometimes it can be used, this data can be used for both. So I think the net of it is the change is moving extremely fast and you need something that's going to keep that pace of change with you, because everybody individually can't keep pace with the change, right? So you have to do that. And the second is, the lines are blurring about what is the type of app out there, and you need to be accommodating and flexible on how you deal with that, which creates the need for platforms, meat platforms, you can call them MCAPs in the consumer, but they're all platforms of some form or another that you need out there. And I'd say probably the last thing is the thing that happened with the internet kind of after the internet started was analytics. And I think whether it be your business to employee application or your business to consumer application, analytics and what you're pulling off the data and who's using it, and how does that UI affect the usability of it and the UX, those things are people that are struggling with right now. So we have 2 clients that have changed their whole paradigm, and they say, I'm going to develop mobile first because it's the easiest to use, and then I'm going to retrofit that back to my internet application because then they'll be easier to use. So those would be the top 3.
So I'm going to open it up to the audience, and please raise your hand. I'll bring the microphone over and just state your name and who you work for and ask your question.
Hi, I'm Edie Kirkman with UPS. Looking at the landscape, especially with the new Windows Metro 8 interface.
All right, Bob's got a question.
Pick a stock.
Oh, that'd be fun.
If you had to pick a stock, Apple, Google, or some startup named Microsoft, which one would you invest in today?
That's a tough one. I would not do Apple because I had a chance to buy them at $40, and that was just be like, I couldn't do it. I can't help but to think that Google is falling out of fashion because I don't see them the same way I saw them years ago. But I could see Microsoft staying about the same size for a long time. Sorry, Narrow.
So I think Google is probably a good bet, but my pick would be Microsoft. And Microsoft has a strategy right now. They're going after the embedded market, right? So you're going to see their operating systems in just about everything out there. So I would think in the near future you're going to see some good things out of Microsoft.
Great, interesting question. Thank you.